His agent said to him, like, you could do this movie, but the best thing that will happen to it is it might get accepted to Sundance. And she was right.
She was like, at best it'll get into Sundance and like
and
20 people will see it and then that's it.
But how did you have like the confidence to come into this thing a day before and like kind of torment me, which you're doing in the movie?
Yeah, because
like
it was there on the page, and
I
didn't want to plan it. I was
it.
like, I think this will work better if I just go in there and I just start saying shit to you, and then you'll come back. I think it was the nature of the character to do it that way.
No, the movie is just like my taste. I'm writing not in a screenwriting software. I'm writing just in emails, assuming that no one will ever read this.
So. The conductor's going to come through, taking tickets. We tell him we're going to the bathroom.
Bathroom.
He gets to the back of the train. He's going to start heading towards the front, looking for stragglers.
Sorry, we're the stragglers?
Yeah. By the time he gets to the front, the train's going to be in the station, and we're home free.
This is so fucking stupid. Tickets are probably like $12.
That's the principle of the thing. We shouldn't have to pay for train tickets in Poland. This is our country.
No, it's not. It was our country. They kicked us out because they thought we were cheap.
You know, obviously it's been almost a year since the film premiered at Sundance now, and you've taken it to various festivals and you know, seen it with various audiences.
Yeah.
How much has your own relationship to the material and the film changed by watching it with people and seeing responses? Because obviously it's so personal to you.
Wow, that's a great question. In 4 months of doing press for this movie, no one's asked me that. And the real truth is very strange, which is that I thought it was going to be terrible. Like when we were editing the movie, I thought it was going terribly.
Okay.
Because
really?
because you're just constantly trying to fix things, and then you show it to a group of people, and you're showing it to a group of like 5 people, and if the energy in the room is not good, you think your thing is awful. And it wasn't till literally, I thought the movie was terrible, and then it got into Sundance, and I was shocked, and then it played at Sundance, and it played like a rock, like it was the most exhilarating room, right? I mean, it was amazing.
It was. I was like, wow.
It was amazing. And that's when I knew it was good. But like literally before that, for 2 years, you know, of writing it and working on it, I did not think it was going to be received well.
It's so funny though, because Will Sharp said something yesterday. He goes, I've never seen, I forget exactly how he phrased it. He goes, how the script turned into the film. It was so very much like the script. However, we still came up with and found a lot of things that was like a spontaneous nature of the way we did, but it was still the script. When I read it, I went, oh, this is great. This will be a great movie. Right, and then I saw it, went, yeah, it's that movie.
Oh, I see. But that didn't mean a lot of people will like it.
Yeah,
it just means that the people who worked on it like it.
Yeah, I never really care if people like it.
We had like our last test screening in New York was not good. Okay. It was not good. Really? There was like 10 people in the room. Afterwards, everybody was just like throwing criticisms. And it was strange. Even my friend came up to me and he was like, you know, I just like kind of like you know, consolation kind of hug. You know, so I had no idea. No idea that it was.
Yeah. I saw it at the film festival here, and it, you know, a massive crowd again, and it played really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was wondering as well, you know, obviously a film like this does live and die by the believability of the relationship between the two characters. And my experience was instantly watching it, you believe that there's that history there between the characters. How do you guys work together? Obviously you've written the script, but then once you come into it, how do you work together to build that history between them?
We didn't know each other. I showed up the day before shooting. To me, it was all right there in the script. Like honestly, 15, 20 pages into reading the script, I went, I completely understand their history, their dynamic. I get it. I can actually see this relationship. So I just wanted to get in there and do it. And you're not familiar with my work. I'm familiar with yours. So I kind of had an idea of like how this would work. And it was, I think we opened our mouths and started on the first day.
But how did you have like the confidence to come into this thing a day before and like kind of torment me, which you're doing in the movie?
Yeah, because
like
it was there on the page, and
I
didn't want to plan it. I was like, I think this will work better if I just go in there and I just start saying shit to you, and then you'll come back. I think it was the nature of the character to do it that way, and just and there was a lot relying on hopefully there would be a decent rapport. I just was like, hoping that would work well.
Some of it is luck. Some of it is luck, isn't it?
I guess, but I didn't worry that it wouldn't work because I'm like familiar with your work and it's yours as well. So there's no like interpreting. There's no like if I show up in the day and you don't really get the script, but I feel like I do. It's like it's yours, so it's
He's just brilliantly spontaneous, lives in the moment, doesn't want to talk about things, and so like I was just felt so lucky to be across from him.
Yeah. The film is, of course, dealing with, you know, dark aspects of her history and you know, pain, as the title suggests, but it also does take, at times, you know, a very comedic approach. And I was wondering, you know, it's easy to imagine a version of this film dealing with similar topics, but in a very serious way.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you always set to write it as a comedy, or was it during the writing process that you were like, oh, we can throw in some comedy there as well?
Oh gosh, not at all. No, the movie is just like my taste. I'm writing not in a screenwriting software. I'm writing just in emails, assuming that no one will ever read this. So I'm not like thinking about what is the overall tone going to be. You know, I just don't think that way. I just write something that feels personal to me. But I was very, very aware that I didn't want it to be like a traditional Holocaust movie that, you know, has a kind of like self-importance and a kind of like, you know, a sheen around it that sometimes feels like it's, you know, condescending to the audience about, like, you probably don't know how bad things are, and we're going to tell you.
Mhm.
I didn't want it to have that
Message,
kind of like nobility or that message exactly. So I knew that, but that was the only thing I was like hesitant about. I knew if I'm going to make a movie that has like the theme of the Holocaust in the backdrop, that I didn't want it to feel like Holocaust movies I've seen before.
And obviously, I mentioned at the top, you've both been nominated now for Golden Globes. Is that something you generally look towards, that you pay attention to these nominations when it's a film like this, especially when it's one that's personal to you, or is that just kind of a nice bonus? How does that kind of fit into the way you
Nice
approach?
bonus, I guess. That was not something that even crossed my mind for the slightest bit when we were making this
Oh my
movie.
God, no, it was a tiny movie,
I
tiny
thought nobody would
movie.
see this. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
His agent said to him, like, you could do this movie, but the best thing that will happen to it is it might get accepted to Sundance. And she was right.
She was like, at best it'll get into Sundance and like
And
20
disappear.
people will see it and then that's it.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what I thought.
This is a tiny movie that really like came together nicely.
Yeah.
By chance.